Something just happened behind the scenes, and according to Joe Budden, Drake may have finally responded to Jay-Z in a way nobody saw coming. At first, people thought it was just another podcast moment. But seconds later, the internet went completely insane. Because Joe didn't sound like he was joking. He sounded nervous. Almost like he accidentally revealed something he wasn't supposed to say publicly. Now fans are replaying old Drake lyrics, digging through old Jay-Z interviews, and connecting dots that suddenly make the entire situation feel way darker than anyone imagined. Some people think this is hidden rap tension. Others believe it's an industry power struggle happening quietly behind the scenes. But the most shocking part? Nobody is denying any of it. And in hip-hop, silence usually means something. So, what exactly did Joe Budden hear? Why are fans convinced Drake just sent a secret message directly at Jay-Z? And why are people suddenly saying this story could expose how power really works inside the music industry? Because if these rumors are true, this may not be rap drama anymore. This could be something way bigger. Because if these rumors are true, this may not be rap drama anymore. This could be something way bigger. And honestly, that's exactly why the internet refuses to let this story die. The moment Joe Budden made those comments, social media turned into complete chaos overnight. Clips from the podcast started spreading everywhere within minutes. Twitter timelines exploded. TikTok creators began posting breakdowns. YouTube channels rushed to upload reaction videos before anyone else could. And suddenly, everybody was asking the same question: what exactly does Joe Budden know? Because fans immediately noticed something strange about the way Joe spoke during the conversation. He didn't sound like he was simply throwing out another random opinion for entertainment. His tone felt different, more serious, more careful. Almost like he realized halfway through speaking that he may have already said too much. That alone made people panic online. Because in today's hip-hop culture, fans believe every pause means something. Every facial expression becomes a clue. Every sentence gets dissected like evidence in a courtroom. And once people started replaying the clip over and over again, the theories became even crazier. Some fans believed Joe Budden was hinting that Drake had privately responded to something Jay-Z allegedly said behind closed doors. Others thought Joe was referring to hidden industry conversations nobody from the public was supposed to know about. But the biggest theory of all? People started wondering if Drake and Jay-Z have secretly been in a silent Cold War for years without fans fully realizing it. Now that idea instantly caught fire online. Because if there's one thing hip-hop fans love, it's hidden tension between powerful artists. Especially when both artists are known for moving strategically instead of emotionally. Drake has built an entire career around subtle responses. He rarely reacts immediately. Instead, fans believe he prefers calculated moves. A lyric here, a caption there, a mysterious line hidden inside a song that suddenly makes sense months later. And according to social media, Joe Budden may have just confirmed that Drake was doing exactly that again. Then fans started digging through old Drake songs looking for hidden messages. And that's when things became completely insane. People started posting clips from interviews Drake gave years ago. Lyrics that once sounded harmless suddenly felt personal. Random social media captions were suddenly being treated like coded warnings. The internet basically turned into a giant detective investigation overnight. One viral tweet even said, "Drake been responding for months. Y'all just didn't catch it." That tweet alone got thousands of reactions within hours. Because people love the idea of discovering hidden secrets before everyone else. And once that mindset spreads online, the story becomes impossible to stop. But then another layer got added to the situation that made everything even more dramatic. Fans started bringing Jay-Z into the conversation more aggressively. Not because Jay publicly said anything recently, but because his silence suddenly felt suspicious to people online. And in celebrity culture, silence can sometimes create more panic than words. The longer Jay-Z stayed quiet, the more theories fans created. Some believed Jay was completely unbothered because he operates above internet drama. Others thought his silence meant he already knew exactly what was happening behind the scenes. Then one fan account reposted an old Jay-Z interview where he talked about power, loyalty, and people moving differently once they reached the top of the industry. And somehow, that clip made everything worse. Because now fans started connecting that interview to Joe Budden's comments too. At this point, social media wasn't even searching for facts anymore. People were searching for patterns. And once millions of people start searching for patterns, they'll eventually find connections everywhere. That's exactly what happened here. The narrative became bigger than reality itself. Every move Drake made became suspicious. Every old Jay-Z lyric sounded deeper. Every Joe Budden clip became evidence. And honestly, that's when the story transformed from normal rap gossip into full internet obsession. Then another shocking theory appeared online that changed the mood completely. Some fans began saying this wasn't really about Drake versus Jay-Z at all. Instead, they believed this was about power inside the music industry itself. That theory spread fast, because people immediately started viewing everything differently. Suddenly, Drake looked less like an artist defending himself and more like someone quietly pushing back against an industry structure fans don't fully understand. Meanwhile, Jay-Z became viewed as a symbol of old-school power and influence. Whether those theories were true or not didn't even matter anymore. Emotion had already taken over the conversation. And emotion always spreads faster than facts online. That's why reaction channels started milking the story immediately. Every video suddenly had dramatic titles like Joe Budden exposes Drake's secret message, Jay-Z finally responding behind the scenes, Drake's hidden warning changes everything. The internet was addicted to the mystery. And the more mysterious things became, the bigger the story got. Ironically, Joe Budden himself may not have expected things to spiral this far. But because of his history with Drake, fans immediately assumed there had to be deeper meaning behind everything he said. That complicated history made the situation feel even more personal. For years, Joe has criticized Drake publicly. Sometimes Drake ignored him. Sometimes subtle responses appeared online that fans believed were aimed at Joe. That history already created tension between both names. So when Joe suddenly started talking about Drake and Jay-Z in this mysterious way, the internet instantly assumed there had to be hidden information involved. And once fans smell hidden information, they become obsessed. That obsession only grew stronger when podcast clips continued spreading across social media. People slowed videos down, analyzed Joe's voice, studied his body language. Even moments where he looked away from the camera became proof to certain fans. It honestly became unbelievable. But that's the power of modern internet culture. People don't just consume stories anymore. They participate in them. They build theories. They create narratives. They emotionally invest themselves in mysteries they may never actually solve. And by this point, millions of people were emotionally invested in this one. Then something happened that pushed the story to another level entirely. A famous hip-hop blogger posted a message claiming multiple industry insiders were privately discussing the situation too. No names were confirmed. No evidence was shown. But honestly, none of that mattered anymore. The second people heard the words industry insiders, panic spread instantly online. Because now fans felt like the rumors might actually be real. And if there's one thing the internet loves more than drama, it's the feeling that they're witnessing secret information leak in real time. That feeling made the story explode even harder. Now everyone wanted answers. Fans wanted Drake to speak. They wanted Jay-Z to react. They wanted Joe Budden to explain exactly what he meant. But instead, everybody stayed mostly silent. And somehow, that silence made things even louder. Because every hour without clarification gave social media more time to create brand new theories. Some fans believed Drake was preparing a calculated response through music. Others believed Jay-Z was purposely ignoring the noise because acknowledging it would only make the rumors bigger. Meanwhile, Joe Budden sat right in the center of the storm watching the internet lose its mind. But what nobody realized yet was that the craziest part of this entire situation still hadn't even happened. Because behind all the theories, all the reactions, and all the viral headlines, fans were about to notice one tiny detail that would completely change the way people viewed this story forever. And the crazy part? Most people missed it at first. While everybody was busy arguing online about Drake, Jay-Z, and Joe Budden, a few fans started pointing out something strange happening quietly in the background. Certain people inside the industry suddenly stopped talking about the situation altogether. No jokes, no public reactions, no clear opinions, just silence. And according to social media, that silence felt intentional. That's when the internet really started spiraling, because fans began believing this wasn't just celebrity gossip anymore. They thought powerful people behind the scenes were intentionally avoiding the topic. Now, whether that was true or not didn't matter. Once fans believe something mysterious is happening, every small detail suddenly becomes important. And within hours, new theories started flooding social media again. Some fans claimed Drake's recent behavior looked different. Others believed Joe Budden sounded nervous because he accidentally stepped into a conversation much bigger than he realized. But then came the theory that completely changed the mood online. People started saying Jay-Z may have already known Drake was sending subtle messages long before Joe Budden spoke publicly. That idea instantly exploded. Because if true, it would mean this wasn't a sudden issue at all. It would mean there had been quiet tension building for a long time behind the scenes while fans remained distracted by other rap drama. Suddenly, people began revisiting old moments nobody cared about before. Award show interactions, lyrics from years ago, interviews that once sounded harmless. Even small facial expressions during public appearances were now being analyzed like hidden evidence. The internet turned into a full conspiracy board overnight. And honestly, that's when the situation became impossible to control. Because once millions of people emotionally attach themselves to a mystery, logic disappears completely. Every coincidence starts feeling intentional. Every silence feels suspicious. Every lyric becomes a hidden message. That's exactly what happened here. Then another shocking moment pushed the story even further. A viral fan page posted side-by-side clips comparing old Drake interviews with old Jay-Z interviews discussing competition, respect, and power inside the music industry. The videos spread everywhere instantly. People claimed both artists were secretly speaking about each other without directly mentioning names. Again, there was no proof. But social media didn't care anymore. The narrative had already become bigger than facts. And once that happens online, the story basically starts creating itself. Now reaction channels were uploading videos every few hours. Some creators called Drake a genius strategist. Others accused Joe Budden of intentionally creating chaos for attention. Meanwhile, some fans believed Jay-Z was staying silent because people at his level never respond emotionally in public. Every theory sounded believable depending on who you asked. That uncertainty kept audiences addicted. Then things became even more emotional. Fans started turning the entire conversation into a generational battle inside hip-hop. Older fans defended Jay-Z's legacy aggressively. To them, Jay represented longevity, intelligence, business success, and cultural influence that could never be replaced. Meanwhile, younger fans argued Drake already dominates the modern era in ways nobody else can touch. Streaming, charts, global reach, internet influence. The debate became personal fast. People weren't just discussing music anymore. They were discussing identity. Who represents the culture now? Who truly holds power? Who decides what matters in hip-hop today? And strangely enough, Joe Budden's comments sat right at the center of all of it. Then another layer made things even crazier. Some fans started accusing the music industry itself of manipulating narratives online. That theory spread fast across social media. People began claiming certain stories trend while others disappear. Intentionally. Some even believed Joe Budden accidentally exposed conversations powerful people wanted hidden. Now again, there was no confirmed evidence for any of this. But emotionally, people were completely invested already. And emotional investment is what keeps viral stories alive. The more dramatic the theories became, the more attention the story received. That's why the internet refused to move on. Then came another unexpected twist. A few major hip-hop personalities started reacting carefully whenever the topic appeared publicly. Fans immediately noticed the hesitation. And once audiences notice hesitation, suspicion grows instantly. People began asking, why does everybody suddenly seem uncomfortable discussing this? What exactly are they trying not to say? Those questions created even more panic online. Because in internet culture, mystery always feels more exciting than clear answers. Meanwhile, Drake continued staying mostly silent publicly, and that silence became one of the biggest talking points of all. Some fans viewed it as confidence. Others viewed it as strategy. But almost everybody agreed on one thing: Drake understood how to control attention without speaking directly. That's something fans have always believed about him. A single post, a caption, a lyric, a subtle move. That's usually all it takes for the internet to explode. And according to fans, Joe Budden's comments may have caused people to start overanalyzing every move Drake makes from now on. That realization changed everything. Because suddenly fans weren't just watching for entertainment anymore. They were watching for hidden meaning. Then another emotional theory started gaining traction online. Some fans believed Drake feels isolated at the top of the industry now. That theory became extremely popular. People argued that massive success often creates hidden pressure nobody talks about publicly. According to fans, every move Drake makes now gets criticized differently because of his level of influence. Meanwhile, Jay-Z became viewed as the ultimate symbol of untouchable industry power. And once those emotional narratives formed, audiences became even more invested. Because now people weren't just watching celebrities. They were projecting real emotions onto them. Competition, pressure, respect, power, isolation, legacy. All of those ideas became attached to the story. That emotional depth is exactly why the conversation kept growing bigger instead of fading away. Then another shocking thing happened. Some fans began turning against Joe Budden. At first, people praised him for speaking openly. But now others accused him of creating unnecessary drama that could damage relationships behind the scenes. A few even claimed Joe intentionally fuels controversy because controversy creates views. That criticism created another battle online. Suddenly fans were arguing about Joe Budden himself just as much as Drake and Jay-Z. And honestly, that may have been the biggest irony of the entire situation. Because the longer Drake and Jay-Z stayed silent, the more influential Joe Budden became in controlling the conversation. That realization shocked many people online. Years ago, artists controlled narratives directly. Today, podcasts and reaction culture can shape public perception before celebrities even speak. And fans were finally realizing how powerful that shift has become. That's why this story felt different from normal rap gossip. It exposed how modern internet culture actually works. One vague statement can become a worldwide discussion overnight. One viral clip can reshape public opinion instantly. And one mysterious rumor can create weeks of emotional chaos online. That realization fascinated audiences. But just when people thought the story couldn't become more intense, another detail surfaced that completely changed the emotional tone again. Because fans suddenly started wondering whether Drake's alleged response wasn't aimed at Jay-Z specifically at all. Maybe, just maybe, the message was directed at the entire industry itself. And once that theory appeared online, everything became way bigger than anyone expected. Because now fans weren't just talking about Drake versus Jay-Z anymore. They were talking about the entire music industry. Power, influence, control, and the hidden politics people believe exist behind the scenes at the highest level of hip-hop. That shift completely changed the emotional energy of the story. Suddenly, old conversations started feeling different. Fans revisited interviews where artists talked about loyalty, pressure, fake relationships, and surviving at the top. And somehow, everything started connecting back to this situation. Whether the connections were real or not honestly stopped mattering. Because by this point, the internet had already built an entire cinematic storyline around the rumors. And the more people watched videos about it, the more believable the theory started sounding. That's the dangerous power of viral narratives. The more repetition people hear, the more emotionally real a story begins to feel. And right now, millions of fans felt emotionally locked into this one. Then another major shift happened online. People started discussing Drake differently. For years, Many fans viewed Drake as untouchable when it came to numbers, success, and dominance. But now some people began wondering what success at that level actually costs emotionally behind the scenes. That conversation became surprisingly deep. Fans started saying things like, "The higher you go in the industry, the lonelier it gets." Others argued Drake constantly has to protect himself because everybody watches his every move waiting for weakness. And strangely, that emotional narrative made audiences sympathize with him more. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's image transformed in a completely different way. To many fans, Jay stopped looking like just a rapper in this conversation. He started looking like a symbol of long-term power, a symbol of elite influence, a symbol of someone who understands the game better than almost anybody else in hip-hop history. That contrast made the story even more dramatic, because now audiences weren't just comparing artists. They were comparing two completely different forms of power: modern influence versus old-school control, internet dominance versus executive influence, visibility versus silence. And somehow, Joe Budden accidentally became the person who triggered the entire emotional explosion. That irony wasn't lost on fans, because the more people replayed Joe's original comments, the more convinced they became that he knew this situation was sensitive from the start. Some fans even claimed Joe looked uncomfortable after realizing how fast the internet reacted. Others believed he intentionally created suspense because controversy drives attention. But regardless of motive, one thing became undeniable. Joe Budden had started one of the biggest online hip-hop conversations of the year. And honestly, the timing made everything feel even stranger. Because hip-hop fans were already emotionally exhausted from non-stop drama online. Every week brought another controversy, another rumor, another hidden message. But this story felt different because of the names involved. Drake and Jay-Z aren't just celebrities. They represent eras, movements, generations of influence. That's why fans became obsessed with the idea that hidden tension could exist between them. Then another emotional angle exploded across social media. People started questioning whether fame itself changes relationships inside the industry. That conversation got very personal online. Fans argued that once artists reach a certain level of success, trust becomes almost impossible. Some people claimed everybody at the top secretly competes even when they publicly show respect. Others believed the music industry forces artists into silent power struggles fans never fully see. Again, none of this was confirmed. But emotionally, the theories connected with people deeply, because audiences love stories about hidden truths, especially when those stories involve power, loyalty, and betrayal. Then reaction channels took things even further. Every creator suddenly had exclusive theories. Some claimed Drake's recent lyrics contained direct warnings hidden in plain sight. Others believed Jay-Z intentionally stays silent because powerful people never reveal emotions publicly. The internet became flooded with dramatic edits, slowed-down clips, and suspenseful background music. At this point, the story barely even resembled reality anymore. It had evolved into full entertainment mythology. But underneath all the drama, one uncomfortable truth became obvious. The internet no longer needs facts to keep a story alive. Emotion is enough. Suspicion is enough. Mystery is enough. And this story had all three. That realization honestly scared some fans, because people started realizing how quickly public opinion can shift online based on interpretation alone. One podcast clip triggered millions of emotional reactions worldwide. That level of influence shocked audiences. And strangely, the silence from Drake and Jay-Z only made the situation feel bigger every single day. Because without direct answers, the internet filled the empty spaces with theories. That's what social media does now. Silence becomes suspense. Suspense becomes content. And content becomes profit. That cycle keeps stories alive forever. Then finally, fans started reaching one emotional conclusion almost everyone agreed on, whether the rumors were true or not. The conversation itself had already changed hip-hop culture online. People now viewed podcast personalities differently. They viewed celebrity silence differently. They even listened to music differently. Every lyric suddenly felt like it might contain hidden meaning. Every interview sounded more strategic. Every social media caption became suspicious. And perhaps that's the biggest impact of viral internet culture. It changes how audiences interpret reality itself. That's exactly what happened here. What started as one mysterious Joe Budden comment turned into a global conversation about power, influence, loyalty, and control inside modern hip-hop. And honestly, that transformation may be more important than the original rumor itself. Because now fans are paying attention in ways they never did before. Watching closer, analyzing harder, questioning everything. Then came the final twist that nobody expected. Some fans started saying the biggest winner in this entire situation wasn't Drake. And it wasn't Jay-Z either. They believed the biggest winner was actually the internet itself. Because social media successfully turned uncertainty into non-stop entertainment for millions of people. Think about it. No confirmed diss track. No direct public confrontation. No official statement. And yet the entire world became emotionally invested for days. That's the true power of online culture now. Mystery creates engagement. Engagement creates obsession. And obsession keeps the machine running forever. By the end of it all, nobody truly knew what was real anymore. Did Drake secretly respond the way fans believed? Did Jay-Z even care about the rumors? Did Joe Budden accidentally expose something sensitive? Or did the internet simply create a massive storyline out of vague comments and emotional speculation? The truth is, nobody outside those circles really knows. But maybe that uncertainty is exactly why people couldn't stop watching. Because deep down, fans weren't searching for facts anymore. They were searching for meaning. Meaning behind success. Meaning behind silence. Meaning behind power. And meaning behind the invisible tension people believe exists behind the scenes at the highest levels of fame. That emotional curiosity is what made this story explode worldwide. And until somebody finally speaks directly, the theories probably won't stop anytime soon. Fans will keep replaying old clips, reanalyzing lyrics, connecting dots, and searching for hidden messages everywhere. Because in today's internet era, silence doesn't kill stories anymore. Sometimes, it makes them immortal.